All right, you guys. So here's the story about my buddy Jonathan. Jonathan, I think, was raised he was born in England, lived there for a few years, and raised in Tennessee, if I remember right, then moved to Idaho, where I live. We met up at the car dealership where he had just been hired as a salesman. Now, he was a super nice guy. I really cared about him, really had some good experiences with him. But I remember about 8 months in, 8 months into his sales career with us, he had never made as much money doing anything as he was selling cars in this time. Okay. Now, I remember hearing him talk to another salesman and talking about what a great salesman he was and what a great career he was going to have. And I kind of chuckled on the inside, right? Because I'm a metrics guy. I like the numbers. I can trust the numbers in one form or another. Sometimes you can't, right? Numbers can lie too. But the one number that didn't lie was the sales numbers. And I tracked them for every single salesman because I'm competitive in nature and I wanted to know where I landed. I wanted to make sure that I was the best, right? And I said to Jonathan, he was over at this other salesman's desk, and I said, Jonathan, let me ask you a question. He said, go for it. I said, how many sales are you averaging in your time here, in the 6 months you've been here? And he said, I don't know, 10 or 12 a month. And I said, you're averaging 6.5. And he said, no, that's not true. And so I took my iPad and I showed him the numbers. I said, stop saying you're a great salesman. Great salesmen don't average 6.5 cars. Good salesmen don't even average 6.5 cars. Good salesmen average 10 to 12, 10 to 15 in this dealership. Great salesmen average 15 to 20. You're not a great salesman. And I could see he was super crestfallen, really upset about that. And so I said, listen, I'm not trying to say this to come down on you. I know one thing about sales and improvement, and it is the better you tell yourself you are, the less you'll try to improve. And I want you to be a great salesman. I want you to sell 10, 12, 15, 20 cars a month. I want you to get so good at this that you just surpass everyone. But this isn't going to happen by telling yourself that you're really good. And I could tell, again, he didn't really know what to say, but he was feeling like a gut check. And I said, you okay? And he said, yeah, I really appreciate you saying this to me. And the other salesman looks at him and says, no, you don't. It was kind of a funny moment in that time, right? But I went on to have more conversations with him about the importance of this, about the importance of realizing where you are in your true sales journey. Now, fast forward about 2 months. And he was over in this vacation town about an hour and a half from us with his wife on his day off, and walks into this knife shop. Now, one thing that Jonathan really never shut up about was knives. He loved knives. He'd always come in with some new blade that he had just bought or found or made, and he was really passionate about this thing. Always talking about knife companies that no one in the dealership knew anything about except for one other guy. They'd always talk about knives. He had a little side business, sharpening knives on the side, that he really enjoyed doing. And he was over in the shop in Jackson, and this owner happened to be in there. And he said they got talking about this stuff, and the owner offered him a job on the spot to come work for him. And Jonathan wasn't really sure what to do about that. He had a job. He was making good money there, or good enough, $4,000 or so a month, which was more money than he'd ever made. 2 weeks later, puts in his 2 weeks notice and decides to go sell knives. So he goes over to this place. They moved over to this town, and he wound up just blowing every sales record out of the water because he finally found his passion. He finally found what he loved. A lot of people get into sales thinking they're going to make a lot of money without giving a whole lot of thought into what they're actually wanting to sell. I cannot understate the importance of choosing what you want to do with your sales career. I have a little exercise that I do with my students in the Make Your Sales Book program, and it goes like this, okay? I want you to take whatever it is you sell and rank it on a scale of 1 to 10. Don't think too hard. Just choose a number, 1 to 10, boom. If it ranks between 1 and 6, stop selling it right now because it means you don't really like what you sell. It means you have no real belief that you're providing the customer with any true value. Now, if it's between a 7 and a 9, then figure out a way to make it a 10. Figure out a way to improve the quality, improve what you're providing the customer, give them what they need, and give them everything you have. Then, when someone steps in front of you to potentially buy your product, they won't help but bask in your enthusiasm. Your passion is what's going to sell. Okay, it really truly is. We talk about techniques, we talk about the proper wording, the proper hand signals, the proper tones in order to be a good salesman. But really, a lot of that can just disappear if you find a product that you absolutely love. Because once you love it, everyone else around you will love it too. It's human nature that the second we find something that we love, we want to share it with people. You've all experienced this. You find a YouTube video you think is hilarious, first thing you do is share it with your friends. You find a song that touches you, first thing you do is share it with your family or sing it to your wife or whatever, right? I sing it to my wife because I'm romantical like that. Why do you love me? Your customers will find your passion infectious, which is why, once again, to close off, it is incredibly vital to find what you love before you choose to sell. Don't just dive into sales because it's a good gig. It will be a miserable gig unless you're truly selling something you believe in. If you found any value in this, leave a comment. If you disagree with it, leave a comment. I'm always open to criticism. I'm always open to people having different views, different perspectives. I want to hear from you. So leave a comment, leave a like, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.